Okay, so to begin at the beginning, I'm Paul Bonett. I've been practicing Aikido and martial arts generally since 1973, quite a long time, continually, at quite a high level in the end, in the British team and that kind of stuff. And I've been coaching Aikido for about 25 years, I suppose. And what I've discovered is that the great thing about our warm-ups, as well as the Aikido, is they do actually use the whole of your body and your mind. So you do have to bring your mind into play and keep concentrated when you're working in Aikido practice. Well, of course, in gym work, you have to do that to a degree, but a lot of gym work is reps of the same thing. So once you're doing the rep, you just keep doing it. When we do reps in Aikido, because we're trying to improve a skill set, which is leading to something else all the time, i.e. not just, it's not just isolated, it becomes part of techniques and so on. You're always trying to improve your skill. So you never have your mind in neutral. You've always got your mind working with your body. And that's one of the really important things about the practice that we do, is you are trying to use your mind and your body together all the time. So I'm getting on in years now, but I still find I can do my practice day by day. And in a year and a half of training, since the COVID first lockdown in 2020, in March, I've practiced every day, at least once a day. And I don't think I've had a needle really, maybe a slight twinge of my back once, which lasted for about an hour and a half, two. But apart from that, thanks to the practice, I've actually kept myself fit, and in fact become fitter in the last year than I probably have been for a long time, even though I've been training regularly. I was never doing 10 sessions a week before COVID, but when COVID started at first, I did 14 sessions a week for about 5 months. So that was busy time, and we had regular people taking part. So yeah, it's been really good for me. It's been good for the people who practice with me. Most of them are still doing it almost on a daily basis and enjoying it a lot and still getting a lot out of it. So they haven't sort of given up and been bored or had enough. They love it even more. So there are people who are doing even more now than they did at the beginning, more sessions a week when they can fit them in. So if you're going to do this with me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an exercise session before we actually start the Aikido practice. So normally what we do is we do a sort of warm up or some basic exercise, then we go into looking at technical Aikido moves, which is the very fascinating bit. But the warm ups, what's called in Japanese the taiso, T-A-I-S-O, taiso, is warm ups which actually move all your body around, from the tips of your fingers down to the tips of your toes, your neck, your arms, your hips, your knees, your ankles, your thighs, your belly, your shoulders, your back, everything gets a bit of a workout, okay? None of it's excruciating. All of it is steady. But at the end of doing the limbering up, which is about 15 minutes, hopefully you'll feel a bit more loose and flexible. And if you do it on a regular basis, by a regular basis, I probably mean 3 to 4 times a week or more, you will start getting a lot out of it. You won't in 1 week. You will not in 2 weeks. But 3 weeks or 4 weeks down the line, you'll gradually start noticing you're a bit more flexible, you're a little bit stronger, you feel that your heart rate goes up, but not as frantically, and you're more in control of your body and your mind. So there are long-term benefits. There are not really short-term benefits, okay? But there are long-term benefits. So if you do this once or twice and you go, it's not doing me any good, I'll probably go, no, it isn't. But if you do it 3 or 4 times a week, as I say, and keep repeating, after a while you go, gosh, this is really good for me. And I can only say, if you don't overdo it, it will be really good for you. All the students who are practicing with me on a regular basis all feel better for it and enjoy it more. And they're all ages, all sizes, male and female. So, it suits anyone. You just have to persevere. There's no shortcuts, as you know, with anything worth doing. So what I'll do is make sure you're working on a soft surface. I've got carpet down here and with underlay. So you want probably more than one yoga mat. You probably need about 3 or 4 yoga mats, maybe 2 at least side by side, just for the exercise where we sit down on the ground and roll back and forward, which require rolling on the ground. And obviously if you're rolling on a solid floor like concrete or wood, you'll find it pretty uncomfortable. That's the only reason. Okay. So that's why a carpet is a good thing to work on. Right, so let's go. I'm going to do a regular warm-up, and I'll explain my way through all the exercises. Obviously, once you do them and know the exercises, it'll take you a lot less time to go through them. But when you first do them for the first time, you'll find that we take our time just to make sure you get to do them the right way. Okay, so let's go. By the way, if I use any Japanese words, apologies, I get used to doing it partly in Japanese. So, and I always bow before I start because sign of respect for the people I'm practicing with, which is you. Okay. And now we just jump up and down, nice and gently, just on your toes. As you can see, I'm bouncing on my toes. My arms are loose. Okay, and I'm just doing a little bounce, nothing special, just coming off the ground. And I can feel my heart rate building up a little bit, and my breathing gets slightly busier because I'm starting to breathe deeper, because I'm needing to oxygenate my blood to work my muscles. Okay, and I'm loosening my body. Nice. Okay, now what we do is we stop doing that. We put our arms up in the air and we bring our arms down and bend our knees. And then we do that one more time. This time we don't go down. And then we go down and bend our knees. Okay, so up, bend your knees, up, down, up, bend your knees, up, down, up, bend your knees, up, down, up, bend your knees, up, down. Now, arms back, arms forward. So you're rolling your shoulders. Important point here is get your shoulders up near your ears. Don't just do this. It's not enough. Okay, you really want to stretch up. So you go backwards and forwards. If I do it sideways, backwards, forwards. And you can go up onto your toes a little bit each time. Okay. Okay, now you widen your legs, bend your knees just slightly, put your hands on the ground in front of you, if you can. Put them between your legs, then put your hands on your hips and bend back. So you go forward, underneath, bend back. Forward, underneath, bend back. A bit sideways, forwards, underneath, bend back. Not a big bend back, just a little. Obviously I'm an old man, so I don't bend that much. So now, legs a bit wider apart now again, knees still slightly bent, not big time bent, just slightly bent. Okay. Now you're going to circle your arms and your body. So arms above your head, down to the side, down on the ground, out to the side, and then go back the other way. Okay, and obviously we're doing these quite slow. Once you're experienced, you can do it a bit faster. And also when you go back, around your head, you can actually bend your back a little bit as well. So you get backward stretch as well as sideways stretch. One way, back the other way. Now you're going to do your leg stretches. So you drop over to your right side, have your hands on just above your knees, and you put your weight of your left hand on above your left knee, push the leg back. And when you do it on the right side, push your right leg back. Make sure your feet flat on the ground. Not too wide, but wide enough so you get a proper sink down the peeling. Everyone needs to do this within their capacity. So whatever your capacity is, do it just within your capacity. Not beyond your capacity, and not so far inside your capacity you're not making any effort. Okay, so that's your choice, what you do. Okay, now what we do is we go to our right side, put your right hand on the ground, go up onto your balls of your foot of your right. See the ball of my foot of my right. And my left leg is sticking out with the leg straight. My toes are pointing up. I've got my hand just above my knee, and I'm pushing my knee, my thigh down with my left hand. And I've got my right hand on the ground in front of my right knee, holding my right knee back. So my knee is not in, it's out. I can hold that. Now I go to my left side, and my left elbow keeps my left knee back. Now, so I'm getting a stretch on my inner thigh, and I've got my right hand just above my right knee. Now drop back over to the right. And of course, when you start, you find this a bit fiddly doing this, so you might do a sort of bit of a Cossack dance kind of thing. But in the end, after you've done it for a while, you get used to moving from one side to the other. And there's no hero thing about not putting your hands on the ground. Put your hands on the ground so you give yourself a nice and balance. So if I do it sideways, I'm like that, I'm then going over this way. See? Okay, I'll put that sideways. Like that. Okay, now you're going to bring your feet together. Okay, so you're like that, balancing on your toes. Well, sort of balancing when you're on your toes. And now come up. Put your hands on your knees, push your knees back. Now go back down and come up. Keep your hands on your knees while you're doing this, and go down as far as you can. Don't hurt your knees. Don't, so in other words, if you've got dodgy knees, just do it a little bit like that. That's enough. Lots of people have got dodgy knees, I've discovered. I've been lucky, I must say. Again, my knees have looked after me despite all the stuff I do. I used to do a bit of marathon running and half marathons and stuff, and I only started that in my 50s. In case you think I'm some sort of sporty junior person, I never was. I have done martial arts all my life, but not big time other sport. So now what we do, okay, we've done this thing down and up. Now we put the hands on the knees, feet touching each other. You're going to rotate your knees with your hands on your knees and go the other way. One way. And when you do it, dip your knees down a bit, but make sure they stay touching each other. A nice smooth movement, and make sure you keep your hands on your knees, keep the knees touching. And just go one way, then go back the other way. This is an exercise that's done in Qigong, and I think it's something to do with energy pathways, i.e. getting a flow of energy. Energy is life, by the way, in case you think it's something weird. It's not, it's just life. We all have it until we haven't got it anymore. So energy is just proof that you're alive. So just keep doing it a bit. Good, shake out. Okay. We're now going to do something that is specific to Aikido, which is twisting our wrists. Because what we're trying to do in Aikido is we try to move all the bits of our body. So far we've done ankles, we've done calves, thighs, hips, arms, shoulders, sides of our body. We've done all this kind of stuff, okay? We're leaning over to the side, stretching, leaning over the other side, stretching. Okay, one side stretching, and the other side stretching. Let's do that a little bit more of that. So at the moment, I'm just doing this kneeling down. Of course, you can do it standing up. Okay. So you make sure you move the sides of your body. Okay, there. Really, one of the things that we do in life is, if you think about your body as being like really big, okay, or say it was the M25, okay, what we normally do is we use the bit that's in the North Circular and the South Circular road. What we want to do is we want to start using the whole of our body, talking in motorway terms. So imagine you want to use the whole of your body and get it all working, okay, so you're not just using the sort of, so when you stretch, don't just stretch here, stretch, you really stretch. Really stretch. So you sort of think, oh yeah, I feel that. Instead of going, oh, that's what I normally feel. You want to feel what you don't normally feel, because then you get used to doing that, getting to know stuff you don't normally know, and you get to know that, and then you go, oh yeah, I can do that, because I'm used to doing it. So you get used to doing it by practicing. Okay, it's a bit of stretch. Now, we're going to look at the wrists, which is what I was going to say a minute ago. So what we do is we face our left palm towards our face, put our right hand behind it, with the thumb of the right hand on the joint of the little finger here of my left hand. And I push my thumb against it, which twists my wrist. And then I bring it into my body. And I take it out, relax it, then I twist it again. I bring it out and I relax my hand, so it's there. Then I push my thumb of my right hand into the joint of my little, so it twists my wrist. You see the way my wrist is being twisted by it being with the other hand doing that. Okay, it's an Aikido lock. Okay, we're doing it just to get flexibility in our wrists, and also it will strengthen your wrists over time doing this. Okay, so you put a bit of a lock on, a bit of a torque. Now you do it with the other hand. So you've got your right palm facing towards your face. Your left hand goes behind it, against it like that. Your thumb of your left hand pushes your little finger joint of your right hand. And as you do that, you then bring it into your body. And you can see I'm bringing it in about waist level. And my elbows are pretty much staying in close to me, so they're not sticking out. Okay, and my shoulders are relaxed. They're not They're just down. Okay. And I'm sitting on, at the moment, I'm kneeling, I'm doing a sitting kneel. So I'm like that. Okay, so I'm just sitting down. So this is giving me stretch here and my, and if you look sideways, stretching my feet and sitting down here. So, and I'm doing this. Okay, so whilst I'm concentrating on this, this is also getting a stretch. Okay, getting used to getting a more flexible hips, more flexible knees, more flexible ankles. Okay. So you twist that. The next one we're going to do is your left hand points away from you, like that. You're going to turn it upside down so your thumb is facing the ground. Okay, and your right hand is going to go onto the back of your left hand, just like that. And then your thumb, you see, is on top. You push your thumb down here, across your hand. Your fingers of this hand are below the index finger here, and you can twist it like that. So your right hand, twist your left hand up. But actually all you do is you bring this down, so your elbows come into your sides. And as you do that, you keep these fingers facing forward by twisting up with your right hand. So you're putting an opposite lock in your wrist. Okay. When someone does this in Aikido practice itself, you really know about it and you'll jump. But you do it to yourself, don't do it too harshly. But do it so you can feel the lock, and it's twisting your wrists in ways that have probably never been twisted before. So again, you're using muscles and joints in the way they're slightly not used to, which gives them more flexibility and more strength. Now your right hand, upside down, left hand on the back, thumb coming over that joint, as you can see. Bring it into your body, keeping the hand facing, as you can see, I keep my right hand facing, fingers pointing forward, whilst I drop my elbows down. Okay, and the last one, I have my left hand palm away, I rotate it this way, so my elbow comes up, okay, and then I put my right palm against my left palm, and I grip there, and I'm going to push it to the left back corner. So it's going back to the side, and the elbow, you can see this elbow is pointing up a little bit, and I twist this, which when I twist my wrist, so I'm pushing against the edge of my little fingers, it's making my elbow go up. Okay, and it goes to a point where it won't go any further, and don't try and make it go any further. Okay, but you can feel the torque. You can feel the torque on your wrist, here and here. Okay, so it affects 3 parts of your arm in one go. That's why these techniques are actually effective in Aikido, because by working on one part of a person's arm, you're actually affecting other parts of their arm and also their body. So you push this off to the right side now. Twist it, and push it off to the right. Good. And now we do one more. So this time I'll go sideways again. I get hold of the tips of my fingers, so my left hand palm up, right hand fingers above, thumb below the finger, and I'm going to push the arm out away from me and down. As I bring it down, I'm pulling it with my right hand, I'm pulling my fingers in. You can see that, so I'm getting this stretch on this part of my arm and on my hand and pulling the fingers back. And again, don't let your shoulders come up, leave the shoulders down. Okay, stretch out, stretch out. Okay. Now the right hand, same thing. So get hold of the fingers with your left hand and out and down, out and down. When you do this, bring it into the middle of your body at the end. And remember, shoulders, don't let your shoulders come up, shoulders down. Good. One more. Okay. And the last one. Last one is your left hand is palm facing down, right hand comes on the back of the left hand. So the palm of your right hand is on the back of the left hand, and you're going to push your wrist up in the air so it's that shape, and your elbow is going to stay down. So don't bring your elbows up, elbows down. So you lift the hand up, and you're pushing against your left knuckles with your right palm, while your elbows are coming down, and you can feel the lock on your wrist. And then you go down and release it, and then you bring it up. So you're going down and release, up, create the lock. Down and release, up, create the lock. So you bring the elbows together, and that creates the lock on your left wrist. Okay, now you're going to change hands. Left hand on top of right hand, bring it up. So now you get the lock on your right wrist. Okay, good. And one more. Okay, we generally do 5 of each of these, of all those exercises. Okay. And now what we do, interesting exercise, might not have come across this before. You point your fingers up towards the ceiling, have your thumbs facing back. You're going to shake your fingers forward and back. Okay, not waggling the wrists. Okay, just the fingers. And as you do it quite vigorously with your fingers apart, you'll feel the vibrations through your fingers, and you'll feel those vibrations going through your arms, and your body starts shaking a little bit the more vigorously you do it. Okay, so you really feel, and it makes the blood flow through your fingers, obviously, and through your arms. So it's good. So rattling, we call it rattling the fingers. Now shaking the wrists. So when you do the shake the wrists, that doesn't really affect anything like your wrists and your arms. Okay, whereas this actually affects your body more. Okay, and this is just wrist. Nice and loose, nice and loose, nice and loose. Okay, now we're going to work on the neck. So from here, you're just going to lean your head over to your left shoulder 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now over to your right shoulder. 1. So ear to your shoulder. 2, 3. Now, next thing you're going to do is you're going to look to your left side 3 times. So look as far around to your left as you can. 1, 2, 3. Now to your right side, same thing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now you're going to look down and you're going to just move your head side to side. Now you're going to look up. Now move your head side to side. Okay, and the last neck exercise is looking down and looking up. Look right up, look right down. And do it 3 times. Okay, now the last thing we do here is just tilt your head back just slightly from center. So it's not straight vertical, it's just back from vertical. So you're looking up at a sort of 30-degree angle. Close your eyes. Now gently shake your head side to side, and that really loose. Not vigorously, just gently. It's quite quick, but loose. Just a little shake, not a big shake. So you feel like you're rattling your brain. Just gently, gently go there. Okay, there you go. Okay. So now what we've done is we've done the jumpy up and down stuff. We've rolled the arms one side and the other side. We've done our necks, we've done our wrists, done our elbows. And now we're going to work on our spines. Okay, so the next exercise we do is rolling back and coming forward. Okay, if you've not done something like this before, you'd be a bit nervous, maybe. Okay, so just imagine you're just point here and come forward. Try and coordinate your body. I'll do it sideways so you can see properly. When I go back, okay, I'm just going back nice and loose. And I'm coming forward. My arms are out to the side, so they give me a bit of balance. Okay, and as you can see, I said earlier, carpet or whatever, please make sure you're on the carpet, because this is the exercise where it's not comfortable at all if you're doing it on concrete or on something hard. So make sure you've got something soft to work on. And when you do it, just really relax. So don't hold your breath. Just roll gently and just let the weight of your legs squeeze your body. Depending on what size you are, how flexible you are. At the beginning, you might find this a real faff. But I have got students, again, I always go back to my students. When I say student, it doesn't mean they're young. They're just students. They're studying. So I've got lots of students who you know, like 16 stone, 18 stone, 20 stone and more. And when they first started doing this kind of stuff, they go, I never do this. And 3 months later, well, not 3 months later, 3 weeks later, they're doing it fine. Okay, so you just have to have a little bit of trust that it's going to be okay. Okay, so one of the things that it will do is develop the core, your core, because when you roll back and you come forward, you've got to get yourself back up, okay, which works your core. So you're starting to work the inside of your body as well. And now when you come forward, touch your toes. So you roll back, up your spine, back down your spine, touch your toes. And now if you roll to your right back corner with your legs, look to your right as you do it, and then come forward and touch your toes. Now roll to your left back corner, so to your left shoulder, look to your left, come forward, touch your toes. Now roll up the spine, come forward, touch your toes. Roll to your right corner, look to the right, come forward, touch your toes, and roll to the left, looking to the left, come forward, touch your toes. You'll notice I do this very slowly. I do it slowly on purpose because we're learning body control, and we're also trying to sort of isolate parts of the movement so that we can really feel the movement. Now, don't just sort of rush back and come forward, okay? This is like nice and slow. Let the weight of your legs go back, and the weight of your legs going over here stretches you, okay? And you want to get that feeling, okay? So when you go back, you want to get that feeling of stretch. You can stay there, you see, as well. Go back and stay there. And I know you're probably thinking, I'll never be able to do that. I can do it, you probably can do it. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm an old man. I'm doing it, it's not hurting me. So it's obviously because I do it a lot. And as I said to you right at the beginning, if you practice this at first, probably won't get much out of it and also find it a bit difficult. Come back and do it again tomorrow. Do it again the day after. Come and pick this video up again. Do it again the day after. And gradually you'll go, oh yeah, okay, I'm trying to get something out of this. Let's just do a couple more. So up the spine. See, I've got my arms out. Now, right shoulder, looking to the right. Trying to get my feet near the ground behind me. Touch the toes. And then left side. And come forward, touch the toes. Okay, now what we do is when we get to our toes this time, we stay there. Okay, so now just stay forward, leaning from the waist as much as possible. So not head down, pushing your abdomen forward. Okay, legs straight. See if you can't touch your toes, touch grab your shins. Okay, and you can see I'm pulling myself down now by my hands, so I pull myself forward. See my elbow bending as I pull forward. Okay, and here, if I can reach to my feet. By the way, when I started doing these exercises online a year and a half ago, I could just about touch there. Now I can touch right over. And on some days, in the afternoon when I'm near now, I can go a bit further. So over time, it has made me more flexible, which I was very surprised because I've been doing it a long time. I thought I'm not going to get any more flexible than I have. Okay, so like keep going with this. Ease your way down. Try and ease your way down. Can you get any further? When you do this, if you sort of just wiggle your waist a little bit, you just feel it just loosening up a little bit. Don't force it, but just give it a bit of stretch. Give it a bit of stretch. I can feel it now. It's still giving me, there's a bit more to go. I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it a little bit more stretch. Okay, now legs apart. So legs as wide as you can, sort of comfortably, not so comfortably that it's not wide. Because this is not really, you want to try and get them out a little bit. And the knees down and the feet, toes pointing up, not relaxed. Okay, toes pointing up, but not stiff. Okay, now put your left hand by your left foot or on your ankle, wherever you can reach to. Okay, what you can do is bring your right hand over the top of your head. I'll go to the foot with my left hand. And you're going to reach down with your right hand to your left hand. And you're going to look to your right foot while you bend to the left. So look at your right foot. Reach with your right hand to your left hand and just stay down. Okay, and if you can get your hands on your foot, great, or on your toes, that's great, on your shins, that's great. Okay, you just ease your way down, trying to get your head near your left knee, and you're looking at your right foot. Just keep that going for a little bit. Now let's go to the right side. So right hand by right foot, left hand reaching over the top, over you go. Over you go. Okay, so reaching down. So your left hand is trying to reach your right hand. Your right hand is on the soles of your feet or on your toes or on your ankle. And you're pulling yourself down and you're bending from the waist here, not just the head. Okay, so bend from the waist. So you're pushing your abdomen down towards your thigh and trying to get your left hand by your right hand. Let's go back over to the left side and do it again. So left hand to left foot, right hand reaching over the top. And right hand to right foot, left hand reaching over the top. And feel the stretch. So you feel the stretch on this side of your body as well. Obviously, the first time you do this, be very, very cautious. The second time, the third time, the 10th time, then you'll gradually be getting used to it, and then you'll be able to go a little bit further. Okay, now put your left hand behind your left hip. Your right hand is now going to reach over to your left foot or to your left hand. Okay, so it's the opposite hand. Right hand to left foot. Left hand behind your left hip, and the left hand behind your hip can push you forward a bit. Okay, so again, you're trying to get your head near your knee. Ease your way down. Okay, now right hand behind your right hip, left hand reaching forward to your right foot and down. Let's do that again. Let's repeat. So go back over to the left side with your right hand and head down towards the toe, towards the knee. And left hand to right foot with your head down to your right knee. Feel the stretch in the back of the thighs. Okay, now push the legs wider apart if they'll go. Usually you'll get a couple more centimeters on the heels sliding out because you've been stretching for a couple of minutes now, so they should be a bit more flexible. And now you're going to bend forward. When you bend forward, not your head, look forward and imagine someone's got hold of your wrist and is pulling you forward by your wrist. So bending again, bending from the waist, not from the neck. Okay, just ease your body forward, ease your body forward, ease your body. So can you get your elbows on the ground? Again, don't overdo it. You know, make sure you don't pull anything, but do make sure you can feel the stretch. You need to feel the stretch. Okay, just keep ease the stretch. Okay, come up. Now what we'll do is we're going to do something we don't normally do in the class, which is push the legs slightly wider for a go, and just go down again and do it again. Okay, because having done it once and eased up, you can probably go down again, might be able to get a bit more of a stretch. And down you go. Okay, now bring your feet in, knees up and down, so you bang the knees on the ground. Again, this is another reason why I have a soft surface. So I'm doing this, by the way. Okay, now I'm going to pull my feet in towards me, put my hands around my toes, pull the feet in close, put my hands around my hand. So I'll make sure you can see my back. Now, what I do is I push my abdomen forward to try and get my back straight. So it's not sticking out like this. I want to push my back straight. Okay, my shoulders are down, and I'm just going to shake my knees up and down. So I'm just shaking my knees. Keep going. So the knees are just going up and down. Keeping the back straight, so the abdomen pushed forward. Shoulders down. Just shaking. Okay, now we're going to put our elbows in front of our shins because we're leaning forward. We're now going to try and put our head down on our feet. Okay, so just gradually ease your way down. Hello, Bertie. Got a little cat friend, Bertie, who's wondering if I can do the exercises he does. Bend down. Ease your way down and come up. Now bend down again. Okay, good. That's out. Shake again. Now what you do is put your left foot over your right knee, get hold of your big toe, and you're going to rotate your ankle. So this is like looking after your feet, both directions, one way, back the other way. Hold the foot with your left hand, put your right hand around your toes and twist your toes around in all directions. Now push your toes up and push your toes down. So we're going to go in one way and we're going the other way. I'll just move a bit closer to you so you can see what I'm doing. So push your toes one way, push them the other way. So they're getting you a good stretch one way, big stretch the other way. Now put your hand above and below the toes and rub them side to side. Now bang the ball of the foot and the toes. So the fist is on the ball of the foot and the toes. The palm of the hand is on the top. And you bang it so they bang again. Now you're going to chop the arch of your foot with the edge of your hands. When you do this, give it a good vigorous chop. Like I said, auto reflexology. Now hold the heel with your right hand and shake the foot. Just loosen it off. Now change over, right foot over your left knee. Hold the big toe. I'll just spin around so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to rotate the ankle with the left hand, just turn it around and turn it the other way. Okay, now I'll hold the foot with the right hand. Get hold of the toes with my left hand, twist the toes around in all sorts of directions. Now push the toes up and down. Okay, now put the hands above and below the toes and rub them side to side. The reason we do this is that most of us are wearing shoes or trainers or something all day long. So our feet really don't get much exercise. They only get exercise as a whole. They don't, individual bits of your feet don't really get much care and attention. Whereas with this, we work all the foot. So it gets a lot of loving care, which is good for it. And it reacts well to being looked after. So now you can rotate your ankles. Now you're going to point your toes away from you and towards you. Now you can wiggle your toes. Okay, now we're going to come onto our knees. Now we're doing an exercise which is for your abdomen and your thighs. Okay, and it's just a leap coming back exercise like that. So look after your knees when you do this. Don't go too far. Your feet should be feet flat, not like that. Okay, and the feet are apart. So the feet are like this. So what I'm doing is I'm leaning back and I'm coming forward. Okay? And each time you lean back, I want you to hold it for a count of 3. So lean back a little bit, count 1, 2, 3, stand back up. And 2, 1, 2, 3, come back up. Just go a little bit further each time. 3, 1, 2, 3, come back up. 4, you can probably feel it on your thighs now. 1, 2, 3, and come up. And the last one. 5, hold it a bit further than the last 4, and come back up. Okay, now what we do, you sit onto your heels, okay, and widen your knees slightly, and now we're going to slide forward and see if you can get your forehead on the ground. And when you do this, just sit into your stance. Okay, so you're sitting into your posture, trying to get your bum down between your feet almost, and your forehead on the ground, your arms stretched out so you get a lot of stretch on your shoulders, and then just relax. And now move your hips around a little bit, just wiggle them a little bit, just so you can feel the stretch in your thighs and in your pelvis. Just go down. Now push your legs out behind you, lie flat, put your hands by your side, push your body up, leaving your weight down in your hips. Okay, you're going to look over your right shoulder to your right foot, look over your left shoulder to your left foot, and as you do this, let your hips turn one way and the other way. One way and the other way. Now look up in front of you, so you're arching your back. If you're nice and young, if you're young and flexible, and you can drop your hips more, do that. Okay. But for all of us, doesn't matter what age you are, just get a bit of a stretch going in your hips. So with all these exercises, obviously go within your capacity. Now from here, bring your knees forward. And what we're going to do, this is a very much an exercise that's popular in Japan. I'm not sure I've seen it in England before, but we do it. Okay, so what we do is we sit between our heels a little bit, and then we gradually go back down. So it stretches your thighs and your knees, and it opens your hips up. Okay, so only go as far as you feel comfortable. Okay, over time you might be able to go all the way down. At first, probably not. Okay, so then you just go, if you can, you go down and relax, and put your hands above your head so it stretches your shoulders as well and your sides. So you get loads of different parts of your body stretching for the price of one. Now you roll over to one side, get your feet out from underneath you, lie flat on the ground, legs straight, toes pointing up, feet together, hands under your head, link the fingers, elbows flat on the ground. Now you're going to wriggle from side to side. So you may want to watch me doing this properly before you do it yourself. So you can see my feet and my top of my body are moving in the same direction at the same time. And what's doing that is the muscles in my core. Hi, Bertie. Bertie's just checking I'm doing it right. So you just keep going. Sometimes you do it big and slow, and sometimes you do it fast and small. We usually do about 45 seconds of this. It's quite challenging. Okay, Yamet, now relax. Arms out to the side. Put your right foot over your left foot, so you cross your ankles over. Now you're going to pull your feet against each other, getting tension in your legs. Okay, now I want you to work the muscles from your toes up to your hips, including your glutes. Okay, so both muscles are working in both legs, really pulling the feet against each other. Relax the top of the body as much as possible, but really work the muscles from your hips down to the ground. Sorry, down to your toes. Now change over, left foot over right. Same idea, pull strongly. Okay, relax. Now you put the sole of your right foot against the side of your left knee and push the foot against the knee and the knee against the foot. So again, you're getting tension through the muscles in both legs. The toes of your straight leg should be pointing up, and you should be working the muscles in both legs. Push, so sole of the right foot against the side of the left knee. And change over. Sole of the left foot against the side of the right knee. So it's against the side of the knee, not on the top. So push. So your right foot, the toes should be pointing up and working the muscles in both legs. Okay, now legs out. Now bring your feet in towards you. Push your hips into the air so your hips are off the ground. Your arms are out to give you balance. Now bring your toes in closer to you. So you're balancing from the balls of your feet to your shoulders. Arms are out to give you balance. Keep the hips pushed up. Now drop your knees to the right side. So your right knee goes towards the ground. Your left knee follows. And as you do that, look to the opposite direction. So knees are going right, turn and look to your left.
and keep your left shoulder on the ground. Now bring your knees back to the center point, pushing up your hips. Now drop your knees towards the left side and look to the right side with your right shoulder staying on the ground. Now go back over to the right, looking left. And now go back over to the left, looking right. Now come down. Okay, right, we're near the end of the exercises now. Bring the heels in a little bit with the feet apart. You're going to push your heels into the ground so your hips come off the ground. So you're going to arch your back from the back of your heels to your shoulders. Okay, so just push your hips up now. Legs pretty much straight, toes pointing out. So you pull your toes towards you as you do this. You get a very low arch from your shoulders to your heels, the back of your heels. Keep pushing up with the hips. So again, you can feel the muscles working from your waist down to your heels. Now come down. Now push your elbows into the mat so your head slides. So you slide off the back of your head with your shoulders coming off the ground. So you look behind you, and you're now bridging from your back of your head to your bum. Okay, and your arms are out to give you balance and nice and relaxed arms. Just hold that. And now come down. Now with your legs straight, toes pointing up, hands under your head, elbows flat, wriggle like a fish again. So wriggle from side to side. Okay. Now put your feet up in the air and roll up onto to a sitting position.
And maybe a kneeling position. So I'll show you how I did that again. So I was lying back, wasn't I? So I lay back. So I put my feet in the air, then I pull my feet in underneath me, and I can come down to this position. Okay. So that is warm-up, limbering up exercises, done with quite a lot of explanation. And hopefully you'll find them useful. It's very important that when you do these exercises, you do them within your capability, and you gradually sort of push the envelope. Okay, don't go outside the envelope, stay inside the envelope. But do try and do them 3 to 4 times a week, and then maybe report back after a month and let me know how you're getting on with them. If there are any questions, I'm very, very, very keen to answer questions. So if you have any doubts about anything that I've talked about and you'd like a bit more explanation, do please contact me straight away, and I'd love to reply, because the more I can help you, the more fitter you feel, the better you feel about yourself, the better we all feel about ourselves, the better lives we can lead. What more can you want? So do please ask any questions. And what we normally do after this is we would then start the Aikido session, which, yeah, is available if you want to do it. But in the meantime, I hope that was useful. I'm going to be doing what I call the kitchen sink exercises. I've been doing those for about a year and a bit as well. And there are some early morning exercise practice, what you can do when you're making your first cup of tea, when you first get up in the morning. So just to get your body going. So I'm going to do a little video of those, which I'll also post up. Anyway, thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu. That means thank you very much in Japanese. Okay.